Hari Om Namaskar, Hey Janardana. Joyous Deepavali to all of you. Today I have received a number of messages, thousands. I may not be able to reply every one of you. I wish all of you a very happy, joyous Deepavali and the year ahead till we meet once again next to Deepavali. Of course, we will be meeting many times in the middle. Just for wishes, I say. My good wishes is always there with you throughout. Not for just Deepavali, always. Throughout your life. Many people while addressing, they said, joyous Diwali, joyous Diwali, joyous Diwali. Somehow, this Diwali word, I am not comfortable with it. I don't say you may be right in using it, but don't use that. Somehow I have a feeling Diwala, bankruptcy, when you call Diwali, joyous Diwali, joyous bankruptcy. Use Deepavali. It's the festival of lights. We are celebrating the Naragasura Vadam. Intelligence, wisdom dawned on Narakasura when he was being killed, when he was about to die. He said, Hey Krishna, please see that my death is celebrated. The Rakshasa, the Asura, who was very powerful, was defeated by Krishna using the Sudarshana Chakra. The good trumping over the evil. Everywhere, good should trump over the evil. Good should reign the evil. Good should bring down the evil. And evil, if it exists, it should exist under the command of the good. The evil is the mind and the heart is good. The mind must be under the command of the heart. Mind may speak so many things without caring, without thinking, without any organized thoughts, without anything useful. Mind is always full of self-pity. How much ever you do, the mind will not be satisfied. That is the quality of mind. You can live for your satisfaction, but you cannot live for somebody's satisfaction. It's impossible. If you have a leader in the organization, you can live for the leader, you can work for the leader, you can die for the leader. Because leader will not behave like a leader. The leader will really behave more like one among you. He will not make you feel inferior. Boss makes you feel inferior. Boss takes the credit of your work, whereas the leader doesn't take credit of your work. Of course, coming back to Naragasura, the wisdom dawned on him, the light dawned on the ignorance of darkness. Light has to dawn. Otherwise, the ignorance remains always, and it is always dark. And it gives ideas, new ideas, and it will affect not just the person, but it affects the family, it affects the entire generation, it affects the good work done by anybody. That is the evil. But at the time of death, Naragasura realized what he had done in his life. The light dawned on him. So, to signify that Such a big asura was totally in darkness, and the light dawned on him, and he became wise to request the Lord to celebrate the death of the evil, that is himself. To that extent he had wisdom. Most of the people, when they die, they will die with self-pity. They will say, we have done this, we have done that. We have not been rewarded, we have not been awarded. Wisdom doesn't dawn on such people. They live with that self-pity. And on death also, they go on claiming that they have been very useful, they have contributed. It means consciousness has not dawned on them. Any amount of correcting such people doesn't lead. Doesn't lead to any recovery. Doesn't lead to any recovery or redemption. But some people, even though they are evil, even though they live a life of evil, on death or at any time before death, the wisdom dawns on them. They are able to practically see the truth behind things. Of course, the self-pity cannot understand that. The people who are full with self-pity. So, at that time, their death becomes a celebration. Like that, Narakasura's, the evil's death, he requested it to be celebrated. That is where wisdom dawned on Narakasura and the darkness of ignorance left him and he merged with the light. Keep this in mind always. Ignorance is of many forms. Many forms. A very ignorant person will think that you are different, I am different. A very wise person will think that you are unique and I am also unique. Uniqueness is the very concept of life. Everybody is very unique. That is why no comparison is possible. When you cannot compare two unique things, because they are unique in their own way, there is no base for comparison. There is no reason for comparison. There is nothing available to compare. How to compare it? You cannot compare it. Okay. You cannot compare something like a subject like philosophy. You cannot compare philosophy with something like science. There is no comparison. Of course, science may have a philosophy based on which the entire scientific things take place. But still directly, they may not look. Both are unique in their own way and they contribute. There is nothing like a comparison. Just because somebody is a psychologist or somebody is more a philosopher or somebody is more a art student, a fine art student, okay, doesn't make him low. Or just because somebody is a big scientist, a big astrophysicist who is looking at and gives his predictions, his scientific analysis leads him to certain conclusions and he says, this is how things are going to take place. This is how, because my calculation says, that doesn't make him big. Of course, both are unique in their own ways. So when we start appreciating everything as unique, then there is no question of any difference. The wheel of ignorance is removed and we come to know that everything is very, very unique. Very, very unique. In the system of nature, though each element is unique, every element of uniqueness functions in its own way to jointly, coordinately function. That is the beauty of nature. Individually, everything may be unique, but when you see as a system, they are more organized. Every unique thing joins and becomes an organized structure. So the ignorance of thinking something is different, something doesn't belong to me, something is of no use, that is ignorance. Everything has got its own use in its own way. in its own things. Everything has got its own unique ways. Okay. Everything will be useful under a particular thing. The fight comes more because you think I am different, I think you are different. And whatever I speak, there is always a motive sometimes attributed. Whatever you speak, there is always a motive attributed. We don't take it as it is a unique situation. In this unique situation, when something is being told, it is being told in a genuine sense to bring a reformation in the person, in the nature of thinking. That's why a master comes. A master has not come to shake head to you. He has not come. He doesn't shake his head. If he shakes his head, there is something more to it. Further, you cannot expect him to shake. He doesn't shake his head. Master is unique. A disciple is also unique. Disciple comes to learn, and that subservience must be there to the disciple to learn. All these things what I am saying is there in Sanatana Dharma. Something somewhere, those days according to the available limited resources and limited number of people, certain things were told by Manu. When we start some project, initially the project design is like this, there will be a project, is it not? But as we work on the project and as the project continues, we will find that the basic design alone is not enough. And you may have to alter it and make some changes. Of course, the changes are made without the pile foundation which is laid. The pile foundation is Sanatana on which Hindus are built. You must feel very happy. You must feel very glad. You must feel you belong to something age-old. All the other religions came subsequently. Subsequently, religions have come. But Hindu religion, Hindu way of life is something that has been existing purely natural, giving more respect to every element of nature. Every aspect of nature is respected totally, dedicatedly. That is Sanatana. If we are all living like this, and if I am asking you, if I am telling you, you should not treat somebody on the basis of caste, you should not caste slurs, like racial slurs being in the West. Caste slurs are there in Bharata Desha. That should not be there. We are all unique. Today, that is what? Today, females are getting well educated. Females are getting better employment. Females are being given respect. At the same time, there is some revolution also in the females. Okay. They have come, they now ask for a position. They want a particular place. They want to be treated also. Yes, natural, it is very natural. Male chauvinism has to be defeated. So females also, upspring was there. Once again, it should not become female chauvinism. What happened to the males over a period of time has now started happening to the females. Femininity, all said and done, is something very soft, very beautiful, very soft. It's very soft inner core. I am not saying the external structure. One may be a male, but he may be a female more from the heart. One may be a female, she may be more male from the heart. So I call the femininity aspect, not the external structure, but internally one may be very soft. That is femininity. From that comes love, compassion. From where do you get? When you see something, automatically the heart blows, the heart comes up. When you see something very beautiful happening, your heart opens. When something very terrible happens, then also the heart feels. This should not have happened. Why it is happening? This cannot happen. Why is it happening? This came for a very good motive. But it is not living up to its motive. It is not recognizing its past, on account of which it is making itself to suffer and it is making others to also suffer. So the female heart will always keep pondering over it. And female will also feel whether I can do anything which can put the imbalance into balance. From where this has all come? From Sanatana. Today, even in other religions, when people are practicing compassion, love, etc., of course, masters have come in the religion, they have also spoken only on that. I am not denying that. But initially, this was more, the entire world was only like, it was only Hindu. Anywhere. Then subsequently religions came, some people got converted, some people were born in some places, automatically they took to certain things. But initially, what was there down in the blood was more Hindu. This is the truth, because it is age old. If something is age old, it must be there somewhere down in your blood. So the compassion and all has come from where? This love has come from where? It has come from nature. When it has come from nature, it is called Sanatana. Sanatana means nature. Nature means eternal. That is why we call it eternal. Normally going to a temple and praying to God. Because those days people used to sit at a place and they can very well pray Bhagwan in their own way. Okay. And that divinity and godliness automatically comes to them. They also built temples because in the long run, they know it very well. In the long run, they know it very, very well. They know it very well that in the future something may happen. People may forget that the Bhagavan is there in every place. And the Bhagavan is there with me. The Bhagavan is there with you. They may not. They may like to see that. So, temples came up. Bhagavan himself was called Swayambhu. For example, there is a word in Sanskrit called Swami. People call it Swami. What is that Padam Swami? Bhagavan, some places when you go, in Bharata Desham and ask them. You go to a very small temple in a village also. There will be, some murti will be there, a linga will be there, or Narayan will be there. Arupam is linga. Narayan will be in a form. So, in the form we see, if you ask him, if you ask the Poojaya or the priest or the butler, whoever it is, sir, for how long this has been, who has done the Pradishta? Then he will say, sir, I will not move. But my forefathers, we have been doing only this. So our family is doing for generations. But our forefathers used to say that it is a Swayambhu Lingam. Swayambhu. Swayambhu means automatically on its own it formed. Swayambhu. Bhagavan formed on his own as Swayambhu, but he never claimed that he is Swayam. He never claimed that he is Swayam. He didn't say that I have come Swayam, I am a Swayambhu Murti. He did not say all that. He did not say that. He said, Swayam, I am Swayam. He did not say I am Swayam. We will say, we all did it, I did it, you did it. So much of ego. There is no, even the Bhagavan, ultimately the authority who governs anything and everything, the concept of universal consciousness from which everything has emanated, the entire nature has emanated from that small point called Bindu, from which everything has come, has never claimed that it is Swayam. So that Swayam Padam, Ya went away, it was called Swam. It is not claiming Swayam, but it is more just dormant. It is just Swam. It is not calling Swayam. Ya went away. Swam. From Swam Padam came Swami. When you address somebody as Swami, it means he is an egoless person. He is Bhagavan himself. See, Ayyappa, people will go to Sabarimala. You can find them, they will have a lot of Anushఠāna. The way that 48 days, the 48 days they will observe like anything. Or 45 days, 41 days. One mandala, they will be completely observing austerity, they will be very celibacy, they will all be very strict, they will not take to any, even if they are habitual in having certain things, they will not go near it. Only Satvika diet they will have, and they will always be playing to Ayyappa, Swami Sharanam, Swami, Swami, Swami. They will address each other as Swami. Why they address like that? There is no ego there. Bhagavan is there. They see Bhagavan among themselves. Even others who are not going to Ayyappa, to Sabarimala, will also address them as Swami. With all that relevance. So much of dedication, so much of relevance. So much. It's Sakshat Bhagavan. This kind of thought, from where it comes? Sanatana. Please remember. All these things are available, of course. There were certain things those days, because those days were the days. The caste system was more based on profession. If you are a Brahmin, you are supposed to read Vedas, study Vedas, learn Vedas with a master, then you have to teach Vedas. Every day you have to do Agnihotram, then homams you have to do, some 21 homams you are supposed to do every day. Along with every day Nitya Agnihotram. You must do for yourself and you must help others. You should do for them. Then you have to give alms. The Brahmins used to give alms and take alms. Those days kings were there, they were taking care of them. So they could do all this. But nowadays, such things, such systems are not there. Things have developed in a different way. So they have to earn for themselves. They have to defend themselves. And most of them are not Vedic Pandits or anything like that. They, of course, they learn certain things. They learn Shastras, they learn Agamas, they learn here and there certain things. Okay. So, and they do pujas, they do panaskaras. Among them, there are some people who are Vedic Pandits, of course, who go to a regular Gurukulam or Ashramam, and under a good Guru, they learn everything. Brahmin setup was like that. Even today. The Brahmin is supposed to be very mild, not wild. He is supposed to be mild like a female, not wild like a male. If you are mild, you are a female. If you are wild, you are a male. Okay. So they carry that. Then we had the Kshatriyas who used to defend the country. People in the borders, soldiers, people on the sea, seamen, then air force, airmen. All the three forces, they fight. So such things were there in the king's setup. There was Minister of Defense, there was a commandant, commander, everything, chief commander, so many things were there. They had a different setup. So all those people who were doing that were to that. Third was Vaishya. He has to do business reasonably. The profit should not be 50%, 60%. The way you earn today in the stock market or something like that. See, when you earn in stock market, what happens? Somebody would have lost and then only you would have got money. The fellow who lost money, how much he will be feeling for it? You are feeling very happy. Okay, you say that you have used your intellect and sense, you have gained money. And you will say that he has not properly used intellect, he has not in any way done proper analysis of things, as a result of which he is facing. I am not facing. I have got profit because of my own efforts. Once again, ego comes, you see all this. So, Vaisya is supposed to do business, that too reasonably, earning a little bit of profit for his own thing and giving goods, whatever it is, different types of business, different types, comforts, this, that, so many, everything will come. Then Shudras. Shudras means what? Nothing. They are people who do the other works. There are a lot of works to be done. Okay. Who is going to do it? Road has to be laid. There may be certain other things. So many things. So they had such a system where they had only 4 divisions. Okay. Today no longer we follow all that. Today a Brahmin you can find, he will be a businessman. Okay. A person who belongs to the Shudra community, he may be a Poojaya in a temple. He does prayers to Bhagavan. You go and see in villages, so many Poojaris. See the way they do. They may not know about your Shastras and Sampradayas and Vedas and all, but the kind of love he has, what these pujas and panaskaras and Vedas should have taught you. It should have taught you more love. It should have taught you more compassion. It should have taught you broad-mindedness. That is what should have happened to you. Has it happened to you? Have you become a different person than what you were by learning all these things? By learning Shastras, by learning Sampradayas, are you able to exhibit compassion? This compassion is the only thing which is going to unite the Hindus. We cannot compromise on this one aspect. This compassion is very much needed. We have to understand the situation. Because you are all closer to Bhagavan. That's what Sanatana Dharma says. You are more close to nature. Even Vedas want to say, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma. Consciousness is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. I am myself, the Brahman and Bhagavan that is there inside, not the external self. The strong inner self. Tattvamasi. This is that is this. Both are Jiva and Parama. Both are one and the same. The Jiva merges with the Parama ultimately. Finally, Ayamatma Brahma. By living this life itself, you attain that stage of Brahman. You are able to realize the significance of the Atma. Okay. These are the 4 Vedas. In fact, they didn't talk about any gods. They talked about Brahma. Okay. That's full of compassion, nothing else. It is the compassion of the nature that you are here, I am here. Otherwise we won't be here. It is the compassion of the nature that we both are getting connected with each other. We belong to such a beautiful Hindu way of life which comes from Sanatana. That is where we have to understand. Today we should cross the limits of this caste, creed, everything. Today unity among the Hindus is very important. If Hindus are more united, the world will be more united. Since the Hindus are not united, the world is divided. This is my feeling. See, as a prayogi, we work on the aksharas of the individual. I will tell you something. Okay. Suppose you belong to a group of aksharas and we are able to do something for you through prayoga, which is resulting in peace, prosperity, health, happiness, everything. Okay. Then, please remember, like you, there may be many people carrying the same set of aksharas because they belong to the that same group. The Prayogam, when it works for you, will work for them also, all of them. They might have known the Prayogi or they might have not known the Prayogi. That is not the point. There is no necessity that somebody should have a connection with us. But once we do for a group of Aksharas, automatically the Aksharas, wherever it is available across the world, please remember, it simply blesses all of them with that kind of happiness and peace and health and prosperity, whatever it is. That is how a Prayogi works. I need not know you. There is no necessity also. We just work on groups of Aksharas here and there. We go to many places, we try to visualize the Akshara. We try to show to the people, these are all the Aksharas. You may not be able to see. You go to the temple. In temple, Bhagavan is there. Venkatramana Swami is there. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Hey Ramana. Radha Ramana Govinda. Govinda. We go, we see him, flesh and blood. We are able to visualize. It is only a stone, but you are able to visualize. You come out and say that Bhagavan smiled at me. Probably another fellow cannot understand that. But you are able to visualize. You know Bhagavan was with you. That was a golden moment. You realize that. That was such a beautiful moment. Such a beautiful moment. You are immersed in it. That is the concept of faith. From where this faith comes? Sanatana. Eternal. Because this comes from something very eternal. This comes from something which is very primary. This comes from something which is the origin, which is the source. That is why I say Hindus must be united. To unite the world. To unite the world. They carry that with them. Because they were the initial people, torch bearers of love and compassion. It is there, down deep in your blood. Unfortunately, in every country's history, there is always a dark patch. We were captured many times. We were taken away. That too happened because of disunity among the Hindus. Disunity among the Hindus was one of the major factors where foreign forces had landed in our country. Of course, they also did what little good things can be done. I don't deny that. But your originality got changed. In the process, something happened, a damage happened to your culture, to your tradition, to what you believed. And nowadays, kids are questioning so many things. I'm really surprised. The kids are there everywhere. Even in other religions, kids are there. They don't question. Even small kids wear everything and go. From the appearance itself, you can see people who follow Islam. You will know how dedicated they are to that. Just see it. See the Christian, how dedicated. He goes on Sunday. Okay. Islam people on Fridays, it's very important. 5 times every day they worship. Okay. Of course. Maybe other things are there, I don't deny that. But they follow that. In Hinduism, they said, any day you can go there and worship the Bhagavan. So you think someday you will go and that is going on, you don't go. So the temples are built what? Because we are not able to visualize that concept of universal consciousness by doing meditative things, by sitting in a place and able to bring the divine into the mind. They built huge temples in India. That's what one day, jokingly I said somewhere. It was a joke, don't take it seriously. Temples are in Bharatadesham, gods have migrated. Probably they have taken it real kind. So, understood that? So, where did that go? Where is your love and compassion? Where is it? Where has it gone? It is there deep inside you. Please try to source it. Okay, today your life is very tough. I can understand. Yeah, you work like anything. Working is always good. Even I work. Even I work. Okay. It's not that I am also not working. I am also working in my own way. I may not be able to do your software, artificial intelligence. There is no necessity for me for all that. At least as of today. I don't know tomorrow what is going to happen. Okay. That being the case, yes, I can understand. But in that, those limitations will be there always. Even those days people were working. Okay. Somebody during, his mother died. Okay. He says, I am not able to come. You see, what more can be there? Father and mother are living gods. You belong to that. At least in the Hindu way of life, you believe that parents are living gods. That's all, nothing else. Bhagavan is resident in them. You have to take care of parents. It's very important. Today, governments have to pass a rule. They have to pass a law. Okay. Government has to say, if you do not take care of your parents, I will not pay your salary. Like these two things are coming. Why it is coming? We have become degenerated over a period of time. This is the crime. This is the crime. If you say rape is a crime, robbery is a crime, killing is a crime, this is also a crime. This is a more dangerous crime. That at least goes with one. But here, this is a continuous process. Because once you start changing, then changes take place in so many ways and you lose touch with the roots. Once you have lost touch with the roots, that's all gone. That's all gone. It's already gone. So the aim is to keep touch with the roots. The aim is to be with the roots. If the tree is so beautiful up, so much of greenery is there, so much of flower is there, so much of fruits are there. It's the root, of course. If the root is not nourished properly, the tree will not exist. So, you are thinking how that love. See, once what happened? One traveler was going in the forest. There was one tree like Karpaga. It's not Karpaga, it's a normal Vriksham, but it had a lot of intellect and intelligence and all. Probably it was some saint or something, we don't know. You say no, sometimes curse, this, they are born. Okay? Because you people always feel that you are superior, trees are inferior, animals are inferior. That's a presumption we have. How do you know? Human hypocrisy is when you cannot understand, you will say that is humbug. That's paranoia because you cannot understand. If you cannot understand, you should admit that you cannot understand. But your ego doesn't allow you to do that. Is it not? Your ego doesn't allow you to do that. Your ego is to that extent. Your ego is to that extent. It is so much blown out ego you have. You won't accept. So he was going. Suddenly the tree, he was just lying down. Suddenly the tree saw him. Oh, this fellow is not a good fellow. A good fellow. I have fruits. I thought of giving fruits. Because it had if he is a good fellow, it will give one fruit. If he is not a good fellow, it won't give. So, it covered all its fruits. This fellow was lying down, he saw one fruit there, but he also knew that the tree is doing something because it was trying to cover up, that's what he felt. Then he told the tree, hey, there is one fruit there. You have not covered it. I may take it. Hey, here I see one fruit. Are you see that? Please cover it. The tree thought, hey, this fellow is a good fellow. We were wrong. It said, it opened everything. It just dropped a number of fruits. It said, please leave it. He said, nothing to do. I won't take it. You are a tree. What is your job? You have to give shade. Okay? If you can give some fruits, you can give. For any traveler or any animal coming here, you can do that. Your job is not to find out whether this fellow is good, this fellow is bad. That is not your job. Stick to your job. Stick to your duty. Your duty is to just give fruits, give shadow. You give me a promise that you will give fruits and shadow to anybody, whether animal or human, anything comes here, you are prepared to give, then I will eat one fruit here. I will take one fruit for my journey also. We are more busy auditing others. Why should you audit? What way you are concerned about it? You have to do your job, duty. Swadharmo nidanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. Krishna. Swadharmo nidanam shreyaha. You keep doing your swadharma. Nidanam shreyaha. Let death be the resultant penalty thereof. Paradharmo bhayavaha. Instead of doing somebody's dharma and being scared. So, you are expected to do your job. Your job is not to comment about others. You are supposed to work for the unity of this Bharata Desha. Bharatavashi must be united, all religions, everybody. For that, the Hindu should remain unified. And he should set an example. Any caste, any creed you may belong to, it is incidental you were born in that caste. It doesn't take much time for Bhagavan to reverse. You may be a Brahmin, finally you may be something else. You may be something else, you may become a Brahmin. In fact, everything is unique, there is no comparison. We have created. So first of all, we should all on this Festival of Lights Day, that ignorance should go away from us and we have to always remain united. This Bharata Desham is very, very important. Don't do anything against the interest of this country, whatever it is. Every act you do, you must think for a while whether this will benefit my country or not. This Bharata Desham, will it be benefited or not? At least this should not spoil the chances of this country. You should not do anything against the interest of the country. You may not do benefit, at least don't do anything against. When I saw on the paper, I had to go through, some paper was there. I saw so many people working as influencers in Instagram. They are working as spies for some neighboring country. They found out. See, please remember, if you do something, there are technology, there are so many things. Okay, you have already found out so many things. You are all experts in software. Software, it's called software. Please. But people working on software become hardware. Firmware also. You must be really soft. That's why it's called software. Sometimes they keep on working 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours. It's good only. Even I work. That's not a problem. But this is a voluntary discipline which has been instilled by our masters. We thank our masters for that. From where all these things have come to me? Why am I talking like this to you? Sanatana. Unity, Sanatana. To be together, Sanatana. Importance of Hindu, Sanatana. This can help the entire world, Jagat, Sanatana. Prayers. Beautiful. Sanatanam is Sanatanam, Sanatanam. People may not be knowing. Here and there they remove some 2 lines. And for their own interest, some people may be talking against it. Don't keep listening to it. You may hear it, but don't listen to it. That is not the truth. That is something which, see, suppose I have shouted against somebody. I called you are like this, you are this, you are that. Suppose that alone is highlighted and shown. We have highlighters, markers. You can show, yes, I am wrong. Previously one paragraph will be there, that is prologue. After that one paragraph will be there, that is epilogue. Only if you go through the prologue, epilogue, then you will know why this was. Otherwise you won't know at a later date. Yeah, you said this, yes, we said this. We don't deny that. As masters we would have said that. But what was the prologue? And what is the epilogue? That somebody has to see. Once you see that, your ignorance will disappear. And that is what Sanatana means. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Joyous Deepavali, Festival of Lights. Enjoy. Be together. Work together. At the same time, do something in your own way. Contribute to this country's welfare. This Bharata Desha must be something very beautiful. It is such a beautiful place. That's what no. When Rakesh Sharma went, those days they used to say 80s May. When he went to this guy, he said, how is Bharat Desha Poojaya? So he said, Sare jahan se acha. Hindustan. From the space when you look at Bharat Desha, it looks so beautiful. Keep that in mind. God bless you all. Enjoy life. Thank you very much. Bye.